very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashingsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Efforts will be taken to supply uninterrupted power supply, assures Minister. World Food Programme warns on Sri Lankans' bad diet habits. News in detail. Power and Energy Minister Mahinda Amravira acknowledged that the government had limited time to make a decision on potentially moving forward with the proposed LNG power plant as Parliament is likely to be dissolved early March, but assured that uninterrupted power supply would be maintained. Minister Amravira, speaking to the media personnel yesterday at the SLFP head office, said that the matter will be discussed at the next cabinet meeting due on Wednesday. Power and Energy Minister Mahinda Amravira said that a 6-member committee has already been appointed by the ministry this week to review power generation on a daily basis. The minister said yet another discussion on how to proceed with the construction of the LNG plant is likely to take place at the cabinet meeting next Wednesday, as there will be only 2 cabinet meetings that will probably be held before Parliament is dissolved in early March. In the last week of January, Cabinet approved several power plants to be fast-tracked for implementation, including 2 300-megawatt coal power plants, while also dusting off 2 300-megawatt LNG power plants and considering as much as $100 million worth of renewables. Ministry officials showed that the country has not set up any power plants in the past 5 years other than completion of the 2nd and 3rd stages of the Noracholi power in 2014, adding 570 megawatt to the national grid. In the subsequent year, a 60 megawatt plant was added, but since then, power plants that were listed in the long-term generation plan of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka were limited to paper. The proposal to extend the railway line between Kurunegala and Mahava double tracks under Indian Loan Assistance Programme was approved by the cabinet meeting held this week. The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by Minister of Transport Services Management to construct an additional 43-kilometre railway with an improved signal system in addition to the existing track between Kurunegala and Mahava, using the remaining funds under Indian Loan Assistance, and to obtain the services of Central Engineering Consultancy Bureau for related consultancy services. On the other hand, the Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal submitted by the Minister of Mahaveli, Agriculture, Irrigation and Rural Development for taking precautions required for maintaining a preserved stock of rice of 20,000 metric tons comprised of Samba and Nadu through obtaining stocks of paddy purchased by the Paddy Marketing Board during the time of a price hike of rice. A requirement of maintaining a preserved stock of rice for distribution at a price hike in rice during the months of November and December every year is predominant. The storing capacity for maintaining a preserved stock of 24,000 metric tons of rice is available at present with the Department of Food Commissioners. It is expected to maintain the fixed price rates in the market by issuing the preserved stocks of rice maintained via Satusa at a government certified price whenever the prices of rice is increasing. The United Nations World Food Programme states that of every 2 women in Sri Lanka, 1 suffers from extreme malnutrition, while 45% of women of reproductive age are overweight or obese. The United Nations World Food Programme in Sri Lanka says 1 in 2 women suffers from some form of poor nutrition, while the country also has one of the highest rates of acute malnutrition in the form of wasting or thinness. It further states that children under 5 years of age are mainly subjected to malnutrition. On the other hand, World Food Programme shows that overnutrition is rapidly rising, with 45% of women of reproductive age being overweight or obese. Concerning this situation, the United Nations World Food Programme and Skills for Inclusive Growth, which is an initiative of the Australian government, have signed an agreement to work together to promote healthy diets. The government should execute progressive policies to meet the estimated 6% increase in annual energy demand and meet its target of 80% renewables by 2030. This was mentioned by a subject expert at the Sri Lanka chapter of the 3rd Renewable Energy Growth Forum held in Colombo yesterday. Accordingly, during the forum, Director General of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Damitha Kumarasinghe, noted that energy demand growth is 5% to 6% per annum and peak demand is also increasing. By 2027, it is estimated that daytime demand will outdo nighttime peak demand. Therefore, supplying daytime energy at a good price and in an environmentally friendly way is important, he further added. Dwelling upon the challenges on this step, Kumar Singh added that if we are to achieve 80% by 2030 from renewable energy, we need about 10,000 megawatt of renewable energy to be installed within a span of 10 years, which means we require capacity expansions of 1,000 megawatt per annum. On future measures, he emphasized that PUCSL is planning to transform energy from 70% imported fuel to 80% indigenous sources. Meanwhile, Acting High Commissioner of India, Vinod K. Jacob, spoke about India's recent strides in the renewable energy sector at the forum. Acting High Commissioner noted that India is all set to cross the 100 gigawatt renewable energy capacity mark this year and is on course to achieve the ambitious 175 gigawatt ocean energy target by 2022. Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. The Prime Minister of Thailand, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, recalling the strong bilateral ties between the two countries, reassured the support of Thailand for Sri Lanka's development efforts. He made these remarks when Ambassador Samantha K. Jayasuriya, Sri Lanka's envoy to the kingdom, paid a courtesy call on him at the Government House in Bangkok recently. During the meeting, Ambassador Jayasuriya noted that the Thailand and Sri Lanka relations, deeply entrenched in the Theravada Buddhist traditions, spans over several centuries and assured her fullest cooperation and proactive engagement in further consolidating the socio-cultural relations. The newly appointed Ambassador Jayasuriya also appreciated Thailand's support to Sri Lanka both bilaterally and in multilateral fora and requested support in Sri Lanka becoming a sectoral dialogue partner in ASEAN. The Prime Minister of Thailand, while recalling his fruitful visit to Sri Lanka in 2018, said that Thailand stands ready to assist Sri Lanka in her development and would extend support particularly in agriculture, technical cooperation and tourism. He reiterated the importance of finalizing the proposed free trade agreement between the two countries, enabling the expansion of trade and investment between Thailand and Sri Lanka. Asia Securities Chairman Dumit Fernando stresses that Sri Lanka needs to leverage more on higher tech-based industries, considering the fact that it has already shifted to the middle income status.
We are not a low-cost economy anymore. We all know that. The higher-end, higher value-add, tech-based industries would be one of the best places for us to start. We have had great successes with small companies that have grown into big international players there. However, we have a very significant challenge there, which is education, which is the skills that are coming out. At the moment, we have probably about, I think, 10,000 IT graduates, both degree graduates and others coming through the pipeline every year. Now, that's certainly not going to cut it in terms of shifting an export economy to something that will help us get growth out of the position that it is in.
Kalapula 2020, Sri Lanka's largest art fair, will be held on February 23rd, Sunday, from 8 am to 8 pm at Ananda Kumaraswamy Mawatha, Colombo 7. Details of the fair were announced at a media briefing held in Colombo recently. Kalapula 2020 is organized by George Keat Foundation, sponsored by John Keel's Group. Conceptualized by the George Keat Foundation, the event was first held in 1993 with a participation of 30 artists and is continuing to date as the island's largest art exhibition, contributing to the local network of artists and sculptors on a bigger gesture. Kalapula 2019 attracted over 350 artists and over 31,000 visitors. In addition, 235 children indulged in painting and clay work at the Children's Art Corner hosted by Kalapula. Over the years, Kalapula has helped many artists in Sri Lanka to grow their craft and showcase their work both locally as well as internationally.
If you look at all the other art festivals around the world, and even the monuments that we look at and how they are being built, so these are elements which art has been successfully used to brand a country, brand a place, or brand a nation. It can be a brand a city. So I think we need to learn from that, and we are actually going that stage. And a lot of authenticity and storytelling can be combined with art, then that is a very powerful message which actually Sri Lanka can compete with many other destinations.
One of the investment institutions, First Capital Holdings, states that the market saw a downward trajectory during this week mainly due to the global economic slowdown erupted owing to the coronavirus. However, First Capital is in the view that a reversal of the situation can be expected in the coming week.
The market has been on a downward trajectory during the past week with rather moderate level of turnover. The coronavirus hampered most part of the world markets, and Sri Lanka has been no exception, following a similar pattern to the world markets. Continuous foreign outflows were noted during the week, while the overall foreign participation, however, has been rather weak. Lots of companies have been releasing profit figures during the week, but the market has not reacted to any of the positive results that have come in so far. The retail activity also has been extremely low, with most investors on the sidelines. Bulk of the companies' results are likely to come in the coming week or the following week. With the company results release expected to be positive, we expect a gradual increase in the buying interest in the market. We expect high net worth individuals and institutional buying to improve in the coming days, which is likely to have a positive impact on the overall market. Thereby, we expect a reversal in the market back into the green with positive momentum that is likely to be created with the overall results.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a mixed note today. The all share price index dropped 28.09 points to close at 5,829.21, and the S&P SL 20 gained 5.36 points to close at 2,773.26. The turnover was 427 million rupees and over 12 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. That's all the news for today. Send us your views, comments and ideas via our email address and our hotline, and also log into our Facebook page to be alert on the latest updates. Join us tomorrow with Biz Roundup. Until then, take care.